Do you want to know why so many Canadians end up losing money in the US market? I've made some of those costly mistakes so that you don't have to. And make sure you watch until the end to discover this one strategy that helped me make the safe investment and turn them into cash flowing machine. Hi, my name is Ping. I'm just a regular Canadian who achieved their financial freedom in less than 6 years using real estate as a vehicle in business and in investment. Today, I manage my portfolio remotely while traveling 4 times a year with my family. I want to share with you everything I know about real estate so that you can potentially use real estate to design your life as well. In this video, I'm going to show you all the costly mistakes that you can potentially face in real estate investing in the US market. And make sure you watch until the end. Just by being aware of those mistakes, it can potentially save you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in your next deal. Mistake number 1 is that you're not keeping your mind open for different market. A lot of investors are actually falling into this trap. They think that investment rental properties needs to actually be in their backyard, or at least like somewhere where they can drive to so that they can check out the properties whenever there's a problem. And this was one of my biggest mistakes, is that I could have got into Florida, Orlando market at $80K back in 2016. I did not keep that options open for myself. At the time, I believed that everything I was doing with real estate needed to be in my city, so I get to feel it, touch it, smell it, wherever I really touch my property. But the truth is, this is just a rental properties that you don't actually need to be visiting regularly all by yourself. You can have a local property to actually service those property. Now being able to get into the Orlando, Florida market back in 2016, 2017 at less than 100K per property, and not being able to adjust the mindset with your operation for real estate really cost me tens of thousands of dollars by not being able to get into the right market. I thought Canadian market is going to continue to appreciate, and the truth is what we end up seeing is that there's a lot of adjustment with the single family duplex conversions, triplex, fourplex, CMH, CMLS, like all those strategies. That really is a little bit too complicated for us to be growing the portfolio. And this is also why it's really important that we gotta keep expanding that limiting beliefs. Investing somewhere else in a different province, different city, different state is really not as scary. We need to really look at all the patterns for the past 5 to 10 years and try to do a bit of projection for the next 5 to 10 years so that we can position ourselves a lot better. And this leads to number 2, which is tax paranoia. Too many people, when they think about remote investing in a different state, different city, maybe different countries, they're thinking about the tax implication, which is right, but only to a certain degree. If you're using this as your reasoning why you are not pivoting outside of your city, even though the number makes sense, that is definitely the wrong thinking flow. Because in order for you to pay taxes, you need to be making more money first. But we really shouldn't be trying to save more money and prevent us from growing that income. Saving taxes versus growing income is 2 separate things. I realized that I was using a lot of concept about taxation to not progress in my business. Trying to save on your taxes is very different from trying to grow that business. You want to try to grow that income, and if the taxes started going down, then you can have a different tax strategy to really bring that cost down. And how many people have this type of questions and never actually take the initiative to consult any cross-border content? And that is part of the limiting belief. You're kind of just using one reason to push off this entire plan because we're not open-minded with all options. And by the way, this concern cost me 8 months of inaction while I was trying to transition into the US market. Now let's talk about number 3. The biggest mistake for me in this whole transition is that I was choosing way too many strategies. I was thinking about multifamily, I was thinking about BRRRR method, Section 8, I was thinking about creative financing, and all of that combined all together really made this entire process a lot slower. Because guess what? I'm now overthinking about everything. And when you have so many different strategies and criteria mixed all together, you end up not leading anywhere. So my challenge to you is very simple. Pick one strategy that you feel like is the most comfortable for you at this moment. Don't overthink about the next few projects, just one at a time. The very first one is your duplex that's going to make you feel a little bit more comfortable. It's the Section 8. Don't worry about anything crazy. Get into something small, get comfortable with it. It's a new market. You're going to meet the local team, local suppliers. There's a lot of remote investing strategy operation that you have to figure out. Just get into the market that you like and then execute it. Use that 3-4 months as your learning curve, and then you can further scale up and see which one is most suitable for you. And the truth is, right now, if I were to recommend anybody, my strategy is going to be very simple. Use duplex to proof of concept because I never really like condo or single family. They don't cash flow at all. But use 2 units, 2 separate tenants, so you diversify your risk a little bit, and use that to kind of get familiar with the operation, get to know the team, the tenants, rules, and all that stuff. And after that, try to go for 6plex afterwards. And this is a very common pathway for a lot of Canadian investing in the US market. It's just like get into something, proof the concept, and start scaling. Because 6plex, 8plex over there still less than 500K, which is the price of one condo in Toronto at this moment. And mistake number 4 is that you're trying to invest, but you're not getting into a community where you get to ask a lot of questions. Like-minded people with a shared vision can really drive this vision a lot faster for you. Now, looking back, I see that there's a lot of things that could have been avoided. And the most important thing is that if you don't pay with your money, you end up paying with your time and mistakes, which is still equivalent to money. I really didn't have a lot of options back then, so I had to try to figure out a lot of things. But if I had that kind of options, I would much rather get into a community where I get to ask a lot of questions, connect with people who have gone through this entire process already. And from there, I know I could probably get most of my questions answered, have that 90% of certainty that this is the right thing to do with the right sequence, instead of having to wait for 1 to 2 years, or maybe in some cases 5 years, and you still haven't pulled trigger yet. This year, 2025, a lot of people are already trying to pivot into the US market. The information is also a lot more transparent at this moment, so get into a community with the like-minded people, trying to understand what you're going through. That way you can really shortcut a lot of things that you're currently doing. Because guess what? We all have life, our family, you have to budget so many things for other things. You really don't have the time to go to that trial and error all by yourself. And mistake number 5 is that I was paying too much attention to every little things I was doing, because guess what? I thought I was the experienced investor and I had to do everything correctly over there. And the truth is that that's really going to really hinder you on this cold transition. I was paying way too much on the currency exchange that I wasn't willing to actually move the funds around. And number 2 is I tried to assemble a team without owning even one property would start making an offer. A lot of people talk to me, they thought, okay, maybe there's something here, but I wasn't being taken seriously enough because I wasn't really acting on any of the opportunities. And number 3 is I keep comparing all the costs and all that stuff. And you know what? At the end of the day, all of this, as much as it matters, but there's a cap to every single cost to it. I learned that if I were to just pull a trigger, get into a property successfully, started generating cash flow, $500 or $600 in cash flow, all of that is going to be offset. So get into the market first, you started learning the market, the property, the people a lot faster this way, and you can try to optimize it for your next one. And really all of this is the reason why people don't end up pulling the trigger in the past 5 to 10 years. And if you get some value out of this video, please like and subscribe. And there's another video I want you to watch on how we pivot into the States within just 5 simple steps.